I'm sure you recognize these. These are wire nuts, and it must be about 15 years ago now that we were doing some electrical work around the house. We were fixing some light fixtures and redoing the insides and so forth. And I was running low on wire nuts, and I had some time, so I ordered some online, thinking I'd save some money, whatever. And I guess I was naive because I assumed that they had to be up to some standard. So I'm not an electrician, this is my opinion, but I found a couple things that, at very best, it's just garbage. At worst, it could be dangerous. It could be a fire hazard, shock hazard, whatever. Okay, so let's get into it. I will show you the differences and I will let you judge for yourself. Here are two wire nuts. One of them is a good wire nut and the other one is a low quality piece of junk. And I'm not an electrician, but I've used these enough that I've seen some problems with the garbage ones, and two major problems, and I'll show you what those are. But can you guess which one is the good one and which one's the bad one by looking at them? One of the differences is the cheap ones just literally have a spring on the inside of it, and if you just put a spring over the outside of, say, a regular twisted joint, then if there's any oxide on the wires, then all you're going to do is wrap the spring around the outside of the oxide, and it doesn't really do a whole lot of good. Yeah, it'll hold the twisted pair together, but it's not going to do much more than that. If you have a good one, it'll actually bite into the wire and cut into where there's good clean copper, and it actually helps lower the resistance of the connection. So, have you guessed? Okay, well, this is the garbage one. It's just got a spring, a literally rounded spring. We'll pull one out and I'll show you what it looks like. And this one has worked metal. The edges are sharp, and when you put it around a copper joint that maybe has a little oxide on it, and I'm not condoning a dirty joint, but just a little oxide, this will bite into it. When you take one of these caps off, you will see the teeth marks in the wire. On this one, you may see some scratches, but you're not going to see. You're not going to see those teeth marks. It's not going to aid in joining and carrying the electricity through the connection. Here you can see these in comparison. This the smaller one came out of a yellow, so it's for smaller wire, but you can see that it's just an ordinary spring. This came out of the red one we were showing earlier, and you can see that that is a square wire. It's been sharpened to cut into the joint, into the copper. And yeah, the plastic on the end is so thin that oftentimes the wire will break through on it. And this one, this took me almost 20 minutes of hacking and chopping to get this thing out of here. These just fall out. This was an effort to get out of there. I mean, it was embedded in the plastic, and the end of this thing, I hacksawed on that, and you can see that it's substantial. It's still joined. I didn't cut all the way through it. But yeah, just, I don't know, this plastic's also a lot tougher. So, where was I? You can see that this is, I don't know, it's a different kind of metal. I'm not sure that you won't get dissimilar metal corrosion. This is just so much better. I mean, I bought this at a popular home products place, and this one I ordered online, and so anyway, difference, this one, the metal, this is just a plain old spring rather that just covers up, goes over the copper. This is a squared off sharpened wire that cuts into the copper, and this pops out, and this you have to work to get out. So in my experience, the spring pops out of here. The wire, if you screw these on, the wire oftentimes breaks through the end cap. It's just not thick enough and the plastic's not tough enough. And one more thing is this particular cap was sitting in a drawer after I bought it. It hasn't been in an application, hasn't been used. It wasn't like in an enclosed light fixture where it got hot. And you can see that it just split open right there. And yeah, that's, just split open. Okay, so I'll repeat it again. I'm not an electrician. This is just my opinion, but boy, I don't want these in my house anywhere. Okay, well, that was it. I hope you found that useful and interesting in your electrical work.